What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Bill, and in today's video I traded the Bronco in for a brand new Jeep. Now got a buddy Josh over here. He's brought his Jeep by. It's a Supercharged 2020 JL 2-door. This thing is pretty badass. But what we're going to be doing today is installing some Rockslide Engineering side steps with the rock slides and the step down, which is something I've been very interested in doing on the Bronco as well. So we're going to do this install, see how it goes on the two-door JL, see how it works, and maybe we'll be seeing something like this similar in the near future on the Bronco as well. This is what we're going to be installing, so let's get to it. Looks like you already have the factory rails on there.
Yep, just wanted a little more protection, and the steps definitely going to help short man out when I lift her. So.
Yeah, that's right. The Bronco's at the maximum height I can go without my family crucifying me. If I go any higher, I'll never hear the end of it unless I get some power steps or something.
Yeah, you always get that little hop getting out of it.
First thing, this is pretty impressive as a fully printed. Oh, some gloss paper, some nice thick paper, color directions. That's not something you see very often. This is for a 4-door. We're doing a 2-door, so I'm assuming it's only going to have front and rear bracket, and then no rear door. Looks like the factory skids are got like a, what's that? Probably a 12 millimeter. Holding them onto the bottom of the body, and like the Bronco, it's got the bolts going through the pinch welds as well. So very similar to how the Bronco is done. All right, and here we have the main wiring harness. This is going to connect to the battery. You got the positive with a fuse, ground. It's going to run down. And I assume this is the passenger side connections, and then it's going to go across and connect to the driver's side, the driver's side with those connections. Pretty simple wiring. Seems pretty straightforward. I'm going to have a plug going to the step itself, a plug going to the light, and a plug going to the door sensors. Alright, so I'm going to try to fish the power and ground wire up here somehow.
There we go.
The wiring harness is run. We don't have everything tightened down, just want to keep everything loose. But start it down here, fish the power and the ground. It's going to go to the battery, up, then it runs along the bottom. You have a couple harnesses that are going to connect to the step themselves that are still down here. And then these two wires run up through a grommet in the floor. Then the rest of the harness gets fished over the rail through the woods to Grandma's house. There's a cross member that's going across right there above the drive shaft, above the muffler. And so above that, the wiring harness is going, and over the other rail and to where the other step will be connected. And then on the driver's side, you have these two connectors that come up for the door switches. So it's a fairly simple wiring harness, but it was not fairly simple to install. The thing, there's very tight tolerances here on the Jeep. There's not a whole lot of room to
So I think, Bill,
move.
what this right here, I think that's what they took out.
Yeah.
So that would have been a pain in the butt. So just using that grommet down there.
So we went to the actual grommet, not the sealed one. It says use a punch and knock that out. And then replace that with these rubber grommets, which is going to leave a lot of open space for dirt, mud, water,
Yeah.
anything pop through. So we just cut a slit in the other grommet, ran the wires through that. It's not a perfect seal, but it's a lot better seal than this would leave.
Yeah. I guess the only way you might want to do that is if you actually tore out the entire carpet and this was like a washable. That's what those plugs are for. So
Yeah,
that one might be the only reason.
that or
that.
you have some silicone that you don't mind filling that in with after you're done.
Yeah. Yep.
Because I don't think I would leave that big of a opening in my floor.
Removing seats would help if
Yes.
you don't want to struggle.
Yes, in the instructions it says, hey, remove this side panel. You can see the seat installed. You need to remove the trim pieces. Then in the next picture, you can see that they obviously had removed the seat as well, which would make this much easier. But you can do it without removing the seat. It's just a little more scratches across the knuckles. This steps are actually going to mount to these mounting brackets, which in order to put them on, you need to loosen the body bolts, which are aluminum. So
It can give you a lot of anxiety.
yes, a lot of anxiety. Loosening this, it started popping. I was like, uh-oh. But if it starts binding, tighten it a bit, then back off, and hopefully it goes smoothly and doesn't give you a heart attack when it makes a loud popping noise. And you're kind of afraid to move anymore to see if it's still connected or not. But
For some reason, those back washers don't like to come up, so
no.
you don't have that much room even when you got it all the way out. So
Yeah.
I just took that mallet and
Whacked it on there.
yep.
Well, the front one had two, on the other side had two washers, and they moved pretty freely. The back, and he was just saying there's barely any space between the thread and the washer, and I don't know how they managed to get the washer past the thread in the first place because it doesn't go back the other direction. I haven't tightened it down yet because normally when you tighten something down, that means you're going to have to loosen it back up because you need to make an adjustment. So it's easier to leave everything a little loose, get everything lined up, and then get all your bolts in and then tighten everything. So our next step is going to be to put bump straps, which looks like it's just going to be this, small piece of foam to kind of protect the side of your Bronco from having dirt and rocks and stuff, or Broncos, your Jeep. protect your paint by putting it there so the step is not rubbing up against, getting dirt and rocks in between there and scraping the paint off. It'll kind of have a bit of a buffer in there. Going to go on there like so.
And it says what, 1 1/4 inch from the door jamb?
1 3/4.
3/4.
But while he's doing that, I wanted to take a look at these steps itself. This is the inside mechanics. Now I've worked with amp steps before, and it looks like it's a similar motor, but this is definitely, looks like it's built up a lot stronger, and the step mechanism looks to be much more reinforced, which you would expect being that it's supposed to be a rock slider, not just a step. But the inside, the quality, the build quality, it's solid steel, but then the internals look like they are built pretty tough as well. Okay, so the top of this is supposed to be 1 3/4 from here, right? So 1 3/4 down and then run it.
Or maybe get a level.
Looks like you need to go a little forward. And that looks, maybe the front needs to come up a smidge. That looks,
Shit.
I got a small little level. Doesn't really help a whole lot since the
Nah.
garage isn't level, but
Oh, it ain't.
no, but it's
Well-
close.
So is my gap on that side and this side about the same?
Yes, gap looks good.
Looks pretty much level.
Looks pretty much level. Go for it. Oh wait, before no.
It shouldn't show much. It should all get covered up.
I got this step just sitting on there. Now it's the instructions are a little not clear. It took us a second because it said to when you took the if you took the OEM steps off to retain these hardwares because you're going to reuse them, but you actually have to use the provided hardware because they're. Let me go show you the step. Where's the step at? Up here. These are, as you, I don't know if it shows on camera, but these are actually much thicker than the OEM ones and require a larger nut. The OEM nuts do not fit on there. The OEM ones do fit on the very forwardmost post. I don't know why this one's smaller than everyone else, but there's a smaller nut. So there's 3 big nuts and 1 small nut. The very front gets the small nut and a small washer. The other 3 get a large washer and a large nut. So they give you the hardware, and the picture in the instructions shows this hardware being used, but then the instructions also say retain that hardware to reuse. So it took us a second to figure out that these were actually meant for that and how it all worked.
And note to
Yes.
us and everybody else, route the wiring and plug it in. Well, you don't have to plug it in, but route the wiring before you mount it.
Yes, like there's a window here for the plug to go to the motor, and we realized that after mounting that one, and so we had to pull it out, re-loosen everything and pull it out a little bit to get that plug through there. But got it on there, got the wiring through there. Haven't connected anything else yet. It's sitting on there loose. We're going to go ahead and get this one installed. Get everything loose and tightened, or loosely put on there, and then start connecting all the connectors, testing things, and once we're sure everything looks good, we'll tighten everything up, start zip tying everything in place, and we should be good to go. Okay, steps are installed. Everything looks good. Haven't wired them up, but just like the old ones came off, we have these studs that are on here that go through the pinch weld, and then underneath where you had these brackets that we put on, you got these bolts that go up to the bottom. So it's attached to these brackets that you put on the body mounts, 4 bolts there, and then 4 studs that go through the pinch weld. And these things feel nice and sturdy. So next we got to do the door switches and wire and connect everything. Now here's where I'm confused once again.
So,
because we got 2 wires that came in, but you only have 1.
so one of those is for the door delete, I'm assuming.
Ah, okay.
It might. Here,
That makes more sense.
use this
Yes.
before I get it too dirty.
Okay.
Because yeah, that was one of the things he talked about just tucking that back up in there for later.
He's wiped clean here, right underneath the door latch. And so this is going to be for the front door. If you have a 4-door, the back door is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to go right underneath the door latch.
And see, that's the thing about, so they give you this nice cover, so it's not just bare wires, even though I don't need to use it all.
And that's just going to tuck, the wire's just going to tuck back behind, and that's going to be behind the inner trim panel. And then that's going to connect to one of the wires we pulled up through, hopefully. Connect the door sensor to the blue wire connector. Then on the door, right about here where it's going to line up to that is you want to put the magnet. Now, looks like it's got adhesive on there, but probably good to just stick it on there. Yeah, it sticks by itself.
To test fit it, yeah.
To test fit it before actually taking the adhesive off. So now what he's doing, it's going to be hard to see, is the I can never say that right. The OBD2 port on there, and it'll probably be easier to show you here. It's got a bracket with an 8mm bolt on there. He's taking that bolt out and then going to install the supplied bracket, which is going to hold the override switch, or the main override switch, so you can enable and disable the steps. So if you don't want them to deploy, or you want to keep them down and you flip the switch, they'll stay down, or you want them to stay up, you can flip the switch once they're up and they will stay up. And this is that bracket, and that's just going to install using the same nut that he's taking out for the OBD2 port, and then put the plug in there, run to the wire that we ran over here earlier. So everything should be connected now. So when we put the fuse in, the steps should cycle.
Oh yeah.
Which they did.
We just got to deal with all of our hanging wires.
Yeah. Open that door and see if the...
Oh no.
Or maybe because we got that switch. Close that.
I guess I had the switch toggled the wrong way.
Yeah, so... yeah, as soon as I switched it, it came down. So,
okay.
I'll close the door.
Did your side come down?
Yeah, and it just went up when I closed the door.
Oh, you had it open. Okay, so hold on a second. Open. Okay, so I'm gonna open this side.
All right.
Came down.
That step did not go down, or that step came down. This one stayed up.
Awesome. And they even have a nice little rough pad so you don't slip. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, this is a little longer than the Gen 2. So, and they're quieter. The other ones.
Yeah, those are pretty.
Takes longer than I thought, but.
And then if we open this door, magic.
So, for short guys.
Nice. It feels sturdy standing on it?
I mean, I wouldn't jump up and down on it, but it's sturdy enough.
Sturdy enough to step in?
I mean, I'm 190 pounds, so definitely wouldn't want them getting caught, but
much success. Very nice. So yeah, we got to go through, zip tie everything. I'll pull this fuse out for right now so we don't deploy them on ourselves while we're underneath. Go through, make sure everything's tucked in underneath the trim panels, put all the trim panels in, go through underneath, zip tie everything in place. An additional add-on you can get with these steps is the lighting kit. So the light's just got 3M adhesive on the back side, and it's got a wiring harness that should plug in under here. So this harness should connect to the lights, and then you can install the lights up in there. So when the step comes down, the lights will light up. Yeah, I guess that's actually to the, it would stick to the
actual body of the Jeep,
actual body of the Jeep, yeah.
That's okay.
Actually makes fishing this thing through easier if you plug it in first.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know about you, but what I'm gonna do is, so you got the 2 brackets in the front, right, one all the way up closer to the Rockslide badge, and then the other one that's holding the step. I'm basically gonna put that light all the way flush up against that little backing plate on the body of the Jeep. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll come look to see what you're doing and do the same thing, because that's what I was, well, I was gonna look at see what the instructions said, but I guess there's really no wrong answer to.
As long as, yeah, that's basically, I basically pushed it, that backing plate, push it all the way up, and then center it between these 2 brackets, and then center it between, I think that one. Should give enough light, because I think that spring would be in the way if you got too close to it.
Oh, so like right here, I'm just getting things buttoned up. It's running down along the fender as far away from the engine and any heat as we could get. Running down underneath, going to the steps. The step works and makes stepping in and out easy. Goes up, and the step itself, that's
Pretty solid.
compared to the one you took off of there, those, which are much more solid than I figured they would be.
Give me an example of the side by side.
No.
Without hitting anything. And you get a lot more.
Yeah.
These kind of just set up like that. So.
Yeah, these kind of tucked up underneath, so it didn't stick out very far. Where this, it's almost a perfect match with that rear fender as far as how far it sticks out.
Yeah. You get a lot more coverage under here.
Yeah,
too.
a lot more. And that protects that whole pinch weld on everything underneath there. Hey, that whole body is protected. The underneath of that body is pretty well protected with that, and that itself sturdy.
And soon to come.
And it's also got the extra armor that's going to go over top of that. So we'll do another video on that later. And this side, inside, we got the lights. Close the door, lights go out. Slider goes up. You know, I kind of was interested in doing these, and now that I've seen them in person and gotten to touch them a bit, I'm a bit more interested in them. But yeah, we need to talk Josh into going out on the trails with us. The more the merrier. I think it altogether, I think it looks awesome on there. We'll see how well you like them over time.
Yeah, I mean, so far it's doing what I wanted, giving me protection, and
that's going to protect you from any door dings too.
well, yeah, I didn't think of that.
Because anybody opens a door, it's going to hit that. It's not going to.
Yeah. Yep. So we'll see how they. I mean, you'll at least get somebody's opinion on how it holds up over the next couple.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely happy with them right now.
Guys, I want to show you something that's really cool. My name's Bill, and I own a Bronco. Josh, he owns a Jeep.
Yeah.
We get along just fine. It's amazing, isn't it? It can happen. I think that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for this video. Thanks, Josh, for coming by, letting us take a look at your Jeep and at your Rockslide Engineer power steps, I guess they're called, and getting these installed. And we'll see how they last. And then He also does have the armor that one day may get a chance to put that on and see how the install for that is as well.
Yeah, and when warmer weather comes, I'll do the door delete kit. So.
And the door delete kit. Forgot about that. So thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that thumbs up button. If you'd like to see more videos like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.